Hello, hello. Welcome to one more live here on LinkedIn, here on Instagram, wherever you are connecting from. You're very welcome here. I'm Juliana Rabi, career coach for remote jobs. And today we are going to talk about do you want to land a remote job in the next few months? Follow those steps, follow these steps. So nice to have you here. Um, I will just check quickly if the transmission is working out well. So if you're watching me live right now, I would really appreciate if you could say okay in the chat, if you can hear me, if you can see me, just to make sure that the technical part is working out well. So just say hi in the chat, say like a thumbs up, whatever, so I know that you can hear me well and see me well. Let's see. Okay, so welcome to the live. We are going to be talking about steps to land a remote job in the next few months. So I want to be very practical, give you specific guidance so you can leave this live with practical things to do. So grab your pen and paper or open a file in your computer because I want to be very specific here, okay? We have Todd saying hi. Hello, Todd. Hanane. Claudina, Stacy, Abdul, Katya, very nice. So you're all very welcome. I just didn't hear anyone from YouTube. So if you're watching from YouTube, please say hi, say okay, say hello in the chat. So I know that YouTube is also streaming live, but it looks like LinkedIn is streaming live. So amazing, very good, very happy to have you all. I am very curious. I'm a curious person in general, and I know that my audience is very international. So I am wondering, where are you connecting from today? So if you can write in the chat the city and the country that you're connecting from. And I'm asking that because I know I have a very international audience, right? I travel all the time. I live and work from different countries. My clients, my career coaching clients, are also from different countries. So I'm guessing we have people from different nationalities and locations here. So I'm curious to know about it. I will start. So I am right now in Spain, in a city called Zaragoza. It's very hot here, like really hot. I have the fan and the AC on to don't be sweating here in front of you. But anyways, I am right now in Spain, in Zaragoza. So let me see where people are connecting from. So we have Los Angeles, Orlando, Poland, Toronto, Canada, nice. Iowa, São Paulo, okay. Santiago de Chile, Nebraska. Wow, love it. Chicago. Wow, that's very nice. Very nice. So keep the locations coming. Hamburg in Germany, you're all very welcome. I love talking to people from different countries. My personal journey and my career is also very international. And when you work remotely, you can go even more international, right? You can work from different countries, different locations. You can spend some time in one specific country that you like. You can work from that country. So that's what I wish for you, that you have as much flexibility as you want in your life, as much flexibility as it makes sense to you. And I'm here to help you in this journey. So for the ones who joined recently, my name is Juliana Rabi. I am a career coach for remote jobs. I worked for 15 years as a recruiter. Yeah, 15 years, 5 years as a recruiter. And after that, I started my own business as a career coach. And I have been working remotely for almost 10 years. Next year, 2024, it's going to be 10 years that I work remotely. And now I help professionals like you to live a more flexible life. And that's exactly what we're going to talk here today. So this is the PowerPoint presentation. I took my time. I put a lot of effort, a lot of intention to prepare this presentation for you. So feel free to take notes. Feel free also to take maybe like a screenshot of the presentation. There are some that are very useful. So I'm going to tell you, like, take a screenshot or take a photo of this presentation. Hi, Neda. Neda is here. Nice to see you here. A lot of cool people in the room. So thanks for being here. Feel free to take photos of the presentation, to take a screenshot, and to write things that you want to implement, things that you're learning, things that will be helpful to your career, okay? I will start the presentation. I want to keep the chat open for you. So the way it's going to work is, if you have any question, if you have any comment, maybe something that I said, it's not clear to you, so please don't be shy and use the chat for that. So the chat is your way to communicate with me. First, because I love feeling your energy. Otherwise, it feels a bit awkward, like me talking to the camera alone. So it looks good for me. It gives me more energy if I see comments from your side. So please keep them coming. That's going to help me to perform better here in this live for you. And second, I want to make it useful for you. So I want to be cautious with your time and make sure that you're taking value from this presentation. So the way you do that is, if you don't understand something, share with me in the chat. If you're not sure what I mean by one word, or if the message is not clear, share that in the chat. You can also share your experience. Maybe I'm going to say something that resonates with you. Maybe it's a situation that you lived in your own career journey or that you're facing now. So please use the chat for that. It's going to be really nice to exchange and interact as we go here. So I'm going to be checking the chat from time to time. So the chat is all yours. It's like saying, take the mic and share whatever you want to share. And I will start here because I have a lot to share with you today. Okay, so let me just, I want to make the presentation bigger for you to make it easier to read. So I'm going to do it like this. Yes, I think it's better, right, for you, like that. All right, so do you want to land a remote job in the next few months? So follow those steps. Just remove the banner. Yes. Now we are ready to go. Okay. Let's do this. So I want to be realistic. I'm normally a very optimistic person, but I think it's also important to be realistic, right? Understanding the current situation of the job market at the moment. So we are all facing extremely high competitions for remote jobs. That's a fact, right? There are massive layoffs happening all over the world. So remote companies are unfortunately getting rid of people that they hired recently in the past years, many years ago. So layoffs is something that we see pretty much every day almost on LinkedIn. So this is also the reality of the current job market. And companies, some companies that went remote during the pandemic, right? They are now forcing people or inviting people, whatever you want to call it, but they are telling their employees, hey, you got to go back to the office once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week, or sometimes go fully back to the office. So this is the situation that we are all facing in the job market. I put a print of a remote position. I just searched for it yesterday. And in 1 week, 811 applicants for a position. For a customer service position with English, we have 811 applicants for the position. So I'm sure you're familiar with this situation, and I'm sure you, just like me, you're not happy with that. But hey, this is the situation that we have now. I like to be clear and understand what is around us, and at the same time understand where is our power and what can we do to deal with the reality. So this is kind of a photography of the job market right now. It's a bit chaos, right? It's a bit messy. And some people even ask me, like, Juliana, do you think the remote work is going to be over soon? Do you think this is like a trendy that got like very high? Everybody was talking about remote work during the pandemic and now not anymore. Does it even make sense for us to do a live on LinkedIn, on YouTube, to talk about remote work if this thing might end soonish? So I don't have a crystal ball, obviously. I cannot guarantee what's going to happen. I wish, right? We'd make a lot of money with that and solve a lot of problems, but I cannot. So I don't have a crystal ball to confirm what is going to happen in the future. But there are things that tells me that remote work is not going anywhere. So in other words, there are things happening right now, things that are real, that are tangible, like data, that gives me the strong impression that remote work is not going to be over soon. I brought some of those things that tells me clearly that remote work is not going anywhere. So for example, the interest for remote jobs keep increasing. So you just saw the screen I shared before, right? 811 applicants applied for one job in only 1 week. So the interest for this kind of position keep growing. Also, companies can save a lot of money when they embrace remote work. So consider just like how much money companies spend in rental, right? Renting the office, the tables, the chair, the cleaning person, the electricity, all of that is a lot of cost that can be saved when the team is working remotely. So there is a lot of cost saving involved from the company's perspective. And we know that companies at the end of the day, they have a business, they want to make money. So if they can save their budget, that might be interesting. Remote work save a lot of money. So just connect one thing to the other. Also, there are several examples of companies that are fully remote and they are performing very well. Their results, productivity, their sales, their the way they position themselves in the market. So from different perspectives, they are performing very well. And also remote work is very inclusive with minorities, with people that are living in smaller cities, people that cannot go to the office and do the commuting for 1 hour and a half, people who are taking care of others, people who have young kids, people who are neurodivergent, people who their brain and way of work is slightly different. So for all those reasons, I personally don't see remote work going anywhere. I just see it growing and it consolidating even more in the market in our lives. That's why I think it still makes sense, a lot of sense actually, to talk about remote work. I know that still there are weird things happening like Zoom, right? That recently, I think it was 2 weeks ago, start forcing people, their employees, right, to go back to the office, the ones that live up to 800 kilometers. But still, there are companies that embrace remote work. There are people willing to work remotely, and that's for this kind of people and this kind of company that I will focus the presentation today. Okay, so we will not ignore the movements that are happening in the job market, but I want to ask you a few questions like how can you explore remote work opportunities for your specific case, your background, your studies, your experience? So how can you explore the opportunities that are available today for you? Good question, right? Also, what are the real needs for remote jobs? What the market is looking for at the moment for remote jobs, to hire remote employees? What is the market requiring? What are the requests? What are the needs in the market for remote work? And also, for you to ask yourself if you need to study something else, if you need to do another course, maybe gain a new certification, learn something new before you start searching for a remote job. So you might be ready already to start your remote job search. You might be missing just one piece of the puzzle, so maybe one certification, one skill, one thing, or you might be missing a few things. So it's important to understand also so you can do what it takes and start as soon as possible your remote job search. Okay. More questions that you probably are asking yourself at this point, like where do I find remote, legitimate and well-paid remote jobs? That's a very valid question. Right? Where are they? Sometimes it's so difficult to find like good remote jobs, the ones that pay well. So where are those jobs? I'm going to answer this question. So just stay with me. I will answer this question specifically. Also, how can you stand out from other applicants? Because we know that the competition is very high. The number of people applying for one single remote position is crazy, right? So how can you stand out in a positive way? How can you look like the best option, the best candidate, and then recruiters go after you and they interview you and they ended up hiring you and all of that? So how do you even begin looking for a remote job? A lot of questions that you probably have asked yourself. If you haven't, that's a good moment to ask those questions, and I will try to answer as many as possible, as many questions as possible. Okay, we have more people saying hi in the chat. Hi Tanya from Spain, Felicia. Hey Felicia, nice to have you here. Nice to see you again. Ifra from Pakistan, Josie from Brazil. Amazing to have you all here. So keep the comments going, and remember, you can also ask me questions in the chat if you don't understand something, if it's not clear, if you want to share your example. So please use the chat for that, okay? In the meantime, while you prepare your best questions, I'm gonna keep sharing my presentation with you. So let's start with the basic things, okay? First things first. if you want to work remotely, if you care about flexibility, if you want to have more autonomy, there are basically three ways that you can do that. Three ways that you can work remotely. Three ways. Let's see which one suits you better. Let's see which ones is easier for you to start. The first option is that you land a remote job, right? So you're going to be an employee of a company. You have a contract with that company. You work for that company, and you have a contract. You have a payment agreement. Maybe you get paid every month, every 2 weeks, whatever is uh, the way they pay you. But when you have a remote job, you have two important things. You have stability, because you know the money is coming at the end of the month, at the end of 2 weeks, and you have flexibility also because you don't need to go to an office to do the job. So remote job will give you stability and flexibility, okay? But there is a second way that you can work remotely, which is as a freelancer employee, a freelancer professional, okay? As a freelancer, you can provide your services to one or to more than one clients, and you have flexibility because you pretty much choose the kind of work you want to offer, the clients you want to serve, your fees. So you have this flexibility. You have freedom also to make decisions about it, how much I charge, which kind of service I provide, where I'm going to work from, right? So you have flexibility and freedom, and you have some level of stability, maybe a bit less than as a remote worker, a remote employee, because your clients can come and go, so they might not be guaranteed at the end of every month. They might finish a project and don't hire you immediately. So you have some level of stability, but not that much financial stability as a remote employee. Okay. And then the third way to work remotely is being a business owner, having your own business. Okay. So in this case, you have the top level of freedom and flexibility. You choose which service you provide for which client, in which ways. You can have a team, you can be more or less involved in the business as you wish, and you have more autonomy also. So me personally, I have done the three things. So right now I have my own business, but I was previously a freelancer for a short period of time, and I was a remote employee for a long period of time. So I have experienced all those three ways of working remotely. I'm curious to know if you can share in the chat which of those three options suit you better, which kind of remote work environment are you looking for, right? It might help you to understand the level of stability, financial stability also that you're looking for, the level of flexibility. But I'm curious to know if you are interested in a remote job, in a freelancer opportunity, in having your own business, or if you want to combine some of them. So for example, when I was, let me know in the chat, okay? When I was creating my own business, when I was starting my business, I was still working as a remote worker, and I did some freelancer gigs. So you can combine those three elements as they suit you more. So it doesn't need to be only one. You can combine them as they please you or as you need. Maybe you want to create your own business, but you need some money coming every month to support the business creation, right? To pay for all the expense you're going to have. So you might have a remote job temporarily to support the creation of your business. So you can combine it as you want, but understand there are those three options. And I would love to know in the chat what is the combination, or what is the remote work setup that works better for you at the moment, okay? Francisca said remote job and freelancer. That's a very common combination. It works out very well also. Someone said all the three and more. More, I'm curious about more. Remote job, Denise said remote and freelance. Okay, Denise, nice. Katya said remote job to start with. Yeah, that could be a beginning. Katya, you start with a remote job, and then you go for maybe freelancer or business owner. So my point here is to let you know that you can have the flexibility level that you want. There's not only one path to get there. I will tell you more here in this presentation about how to land a remote job, but remember there are other ways to go remote if this is what you want, okay? Let's focus on the remote jobs. That's what I teach my clients, my career coaching clients, about how to land a remote job, right? So if you want to land a remote job, please pay attention to this. This is a good screen to take a photo or a screenshot or to write down on your notebook. This is important, okay? This is important. So please Pay attention here, take a photo, write it down. Not all remote jobs are the same. And what I mean by that is that most of the remote jobs, most of them, I would say 90, maybe even 95% of the remote jobs will have some level, some kind of restriction. What I mean by that is that you need to meet some requirements to be able to work for that remote job. I mentioned 3 restrictions here, the most common ones, the ones that I see more often. So pay attention to this because this might change completely the way you see the remote job search, okay? Geographical restrictions. What I mean by that is some remote jobs, they will only allow you to work from one specific country or state sometimes, okay? So you see like remote from the US, remote from New York. So you normally see that already in the job description, at the initial part or at the end, but sometimes you are going to face a geographical restriction for a remote job. So you must be placed physically located in one city or state or country, even if you're going to work remotely. So it doesn't mean you need to go to the office, but you need to be in that country or in that state or in that city. So that's a geographical restriction that a lot of remote jobs have. And I'm sure you have seen that already. I see it all the time. So geographical restriction, it's a fact. It's a thing out there. You need to know about it. You also need to know about the time zone restriction. Maybe this you haven't paid attention. So look, sometimes when you apply for a remote job, when you're reading the job description, right, they will say you should be available to work, for example, in GMT time zone or plus 2 hours or less 2 hours. What does it mean? It means that GMT, that time zone, some countries are in that time zone, so you can be in those countries or not, but you need to be available to work in that time zone, maybe 2 hours further or 2 hours behind that, but there is a certain period of time that you need to be working. Normally companies do that to make people overlap, so it's easier to make the meetings, to schedule the meetings on that time, or it's a client facing position, so your clients will be reached by email or phone call in that time zone. Well, there are different reasons for that, but the fact is that you will find this kind of restriction, the time zone, in some of the remote jobs. So now you know that it exists and you understand what it means, right? Another restriction that you probably also saw is the nationality, right? So sometimes they say you must be a Italian citizen to apply for this job. We don't sponsor visa, we don't make exceptions, we don't hire people from other nationalities. So you might have seen the nationality restriction also. So these are 3 of the most common restrictions that we find in remote jobs. So you might be thinking if those restrictions are fair, if they make sense, if we should call the job remote, if they say remote from the US, right? I ask myself this question a lot of times, like, is this a real remote job? Anyways, it's complex. It's complex. I don't think it's fair, personally. All those restrictions, in my opinion, it's not fair. But the situation. It's complex, and there are like employment laws, there are tax regulations involved. So there is a lot behind the restrictions that companies put out there. So this is the reality. As I said at the beginning, I want to keep this information very real, as much accurate as possible. And the fact is that there are restrictions for remote jobs. We like it or not. I don't like the restrictions, but we are adults. We need to deal with the reality. So it's not fair, whatever we want to call it, but this is the reality. So what can you do with this information, right? My suggestion is that you start by reading carefully the job description for the remote job. This is also a nice slide for you to take a photo or a print screen or write it down, because there is a lot of information here. And it's all relevant to kind of give you the steps to, when I have a remote job in front of me, what do I do first? Okay, so follow those steps. It's a nice way to start. So first, make sure you read the job description carefully, right? Read it. You might give a quick screen just to see if you like the job or not, but then take your time to read it carefully, okay? And then Now that you know about the restrictions, identify if there is any kind of restriction. Most likely there will be some kind. So you need to identify, is it a geographical restriction? Do I need to be in one country or city or state? Do I need to work in a certain time zone? Does it suit me? Does it make sense to me or not? Do I need to be from a specific nationality? So now that you know about the restrictions, try to read the job description looking for this piece of information because it makes all the difference, right? And then please be respectful with your time and just don't apply for jobs that have a restriction that you don't meet the requirements, right? So if they ask for something that you don't have, forget about it. Oh, but I'm going to give it a try. Maybe companies are going to make an exception for me. My profile is very good. No, probably companies will not make an exception for you. Even if it's you, I know you're special. I know you have a lot of experience. I know you're amazing. I know, and I'm not joking, like I know it, but I also know how companies work. I worked in corporation for many years. Most likely they will not make an exception for you just because it's you, right? So follow the rules. We might not agree, but they are the rules. So use your time and energy for companies, remote companies that potentially can hire you. That's a better use of your time, okay? And then also understand that I'm not telling you to do not apply for a job if you don't meet 100% of the requirements. It's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about the restrictions for the company to hire you for a remote position. Another conversation that I'm starting now, a different topic. Okay, we changed the topic already. A different topic is like, you don't need to meet 100% of the requirements to apply for the job. This is a myth. This is not correct. The reality, and I worked as a recruiter for many years, the reality is that job descriptions, they work more like a wish list or like, what if, right? What if there is someone out there that speaks 10 languages? So let's just ask for 10 languages. We just need two in the job, but hey, who cares, right? We ask for 10 languages. Like Santa Claus, like, like your wish list, Santa, I want to get this, and this gift. So I just add everything. And then the poor parents will find a way to buy you all the gifts or not. So job descriptions can be a lot as a wish list or a Santa Claus letter, right? Managers, even recruiters, they keep adding stuff just in case, but not everything that is there is really relevant. So my recommendation, what I tell my clients, I'll tell you also, is that if you meet 70% of the requirements, you are good to go and to apply 70%. I'm not telling you to apply if you don't meet any requirement. That's a waste of time for you. That's a waste of time for recruiters. You close door. That's not nice. But if you meet 70% of the requirements, you can already apply for the job. Okay, so one thing is the restrictions to hire you, and the other thing is you don't need to meet 100% of the requirements to apply for the job. Okay. I want to hear from you in the chat. Is it making sense? Do you have any question? Do you normally wait to meet 100% of the requirements to apply for the job or not? How do you feel about it? How do you feel about those restrictions? Let me know in the chat. I want to hear from you. I don't want to feel that I'm speaking alone here. So please share your impressions, your experience. Let me hear from you. Oh, okay. Someone said here in the chat that other ways that you can work remotely is with investments, right? If you have investments, so you live out of passive income, definitely. Collaborations, yes. Volunteering opportunities, service opportunities, amazing. Yes, I know. I was just narrowing down to make it easier, but yeah, there are even more ways that you can work remotely, right? So keep the comments coming in the chat, okay? I'll keep going here, but I'll read you very soon. Still talking about this, it's not an opinion, it's a fact, right? That you should not apply for jobs only if you meet 100% of the requirements. There is a reason behind that. It's not my opinion. So the reason that I'm suggesting you to do that, apply for jobs if you meet 70% of the requirements, you're good to go, you can apply, is that first, when you don't meet all the requirements, you still leave space to learn new things, to grow, to increase your career, okay? If you know everything already about the job, you might get bored very easily in that job. So it might be easier for the company because they'll say, oh, we don't need to train this person because the person knows everything. Well, that's the wrong approach from the company side. Companies should always train you. They should onboard you properly. They should support your growth. So that's the company's responsibility to train you, but leave some space for growth. I think that's important. So you can learn, you can grow, you can have fun in the job, and also because of the soft skills, because you might not have all the hard skills required for that job, but the soft skills that you have, the behavior part, can compensate, can impress the recruiter in the process. So for the ones who don't have much clarity about those two terms, they're technical terms. I know hard skills and soft skills. So I think this image is quite visual and clear, right? So the hard skills are the teachable skills or abilities that it's easy to quantify. So if you have a degree, you have a bachelor degree, yes or no? Do you speak fluent English, yes or no? Do you can type in a certain speed, yes or no? Are you familiar with SAP? So things that you can learn easily and that they are easy to quantify. On the other side, we have the soft skills that are more behavioral things. It's more interpersonal skills. So things that are harder to measure, but that are extremely important for remote home, for every kind of job, but for remote jobs even more, like communication, flexibility, leadership, time management, proactivity, commitment, communication, and all of that. So you want to make sure you have both, but sometimes your soft skills can compensate the lack of meeting all the requirements regarding the hard skills. Okay. More questions to ask yourself. As you could notice, I like to ask a lot of questions because I have some answers, but I also want to make you think. And when I am with a career coaching client, we can talk through the answer, we can go deeper and all of that. But as this is a live format, I can only throw the question out there and hope that you can reflect on it, because those are important questions. So question number one for you, if you want to share the answer in the chat, I will love to read that. So also you can use the chat to share at least a short version of your answer. That will be nice to hear. First question for you is, how do you want to live your life? How do you want to live your life? Where, with which level of flexibility? Do you want to work Monday to Friday, 9 to 5? Yes, Juliana, because that gives me a routine that works better for me. My partner works the same schedule. Amazing. No, Juliana, I want to work in the afternoon because I'm not a morning person. I want to keep the morning to myself. So I want to work in the afternoon and in the night. I'm very productive at night. Amazing. I want to work with something that is meaningful to me, something that I care about. Cool. Juliana, I want to do an easy remote job because I don't want to complicate my life. My life is already complicated. I just want to, a job that I'm good at. I do it, but no, super complication. Nice. I want to be able to travel and work at the same time because I care a lot about traveling. I have family living in different places. Amazing. Juliana, what I really want to do is be able to pick up my kids at school because they're growing and I want to spend as much time as I want with them. So taking them to school and pick them up from school, it's amazing. I want to work from home and pick up my kids and take them to school. You see how different it can be? And then it might change for you also. In 5 years from now, you might want to live a different life. But for now, it's important that you answer this question. How do you want to live your life? And then question number two, it's directly connected to it. You will understand why I'm asking those questions. Just stay with me. Bear with me here. Question number two is, what kind of remote job allows you to live like that? Super important question. Listen to me. When you know what you want, the lifestyle you want to live, you will be more prepared. You have more chances to find a remote job that supports the lifestyle you want to have. Because as we saw before, not all remote jobs are the same. So not all remote jobs will let you live your life the way you want. That's why those two questions are so important. If you don't reflect about the kind of life you want to have, you might land a remote job. And then 6 months from now, you're coming back to me and say, hey, Juliana, I need another remote job. I'm not happy because I don't have the flexibility that I wanted. No, that's a waste of time and money and energy. You don't want to do that. So start with question one, reflect on how you want to live your life, and then understand which kind of remote job allows you to live like that. This is another important slide. So this one, you should take a photo, a print, or you should be very fast and write down everything because here there are opposite situations that you can find in remote jobs. So everything that I'm going to mention in this slide is related to remote jobs. Everything. Okay, I'm still talking only about remote jobs, but there are differences. Remote jobs will be different. They will give you different flexibility level. They will operate in different ways. Your working schedule is going to be different depending on the kind of remote company you go for. So you need to understand that. Really important stuff here. You can have a full-time remote job and you can have a part-time remote job. I think this one is easy to understand, right? You work full-time. Normally it's going to be like 8 hours per day most of the time, or you work part-time. This one is easy, right? Everybody's with me on this one. Then you can have a fully remote job or a hybrid job. Remember, we are talking about different flexibility levels. So I know that a hybrid job is not a remote job. I know that. It's not a mistake. It's just to say that depending on the flexibility level that you're looking for, maybe a hybrid job is more than enough for you, right? Maybe you don't need a remote job. Maybe everything that you need, you can find in a hybrid job. So that's why I'm mentioning here. Fully remote job, this can be an option for you, but maybe, I don't know, a hybrid job is enough, suits you, meets your needs, okay? Then you can be an employee of a company, you have a contract, you work for that company, you have a work contract, that company pays you, or you can be a freelancer. So you provide your services to different clients, different companies, B2B, B2C, both, and you are a freelancer, you're not an employee. So you can have flexibility. You can support the lifestyle you want to have as a freelancer or as an employee. So two different things. We might complement each other as we spoke before, but two different options here, okay? Be an employee or being a freelancer. Also, you can have a long-term or a permanent contract, a more stable scenario for you, or you can have a short-term contract. A short-term contract can be a remote work contract, a remote job contract, can be a freelancer contract, can be a long-term freelancer contract, can be a long-term employee contract. So all those things, they are possible as a freelancer and as a remote work employee, depending on what you're looking for, again, right? Then here comes the restrictions that we spoke before, remember? So in some cases, depending on the project, depending on the remote job, you can work only from home. You cannot move to another city. Sometimes you can work in one city or any city within the state or in any city within the country, a bit more broad, the physical place that you can work from, or some kind of remote jobs, you can work from anywhere. You have total flexibility. You choose where to work from. That's the setup I have for my life now. I work from wherever I want in the world. But they are different things. Not all companies, not all clients will allow you to work with this level of flexibility. So you need to understand what you need and then see if the remote job you're applying for offers you that, okay? Also, a fixed schedule or a flexible schedule. Some remote jobs will require that you work Monday to Friday, 9 to 5 New York time. That's the conditions. You take it or leave it. Some remote jobs will say, hey, you can start working from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. London time, and then you finish accordingly. Some remote jobs will say, you know what, we don't care what time you work. As far as the work is done, I don't care. Just do your stuff and send me an email at the end of your working day, sharing what you did. I'll see in the system. That's it. Very different scenarios, right? So you need to understand what you're looking for, what makes sense to you, and then you go for one option or the other. And also, very important, here comes some technical terms, but you need to start being familiar with that if you want to work remotely, because you're going to see that in job posts. You're going to see people who are involved in remote work talking about those things. So I want you to understand the language that people use in the remote work environment. So synchronized or asynchronized jobs. A synchronized job or team or work environment means that people are working at the same time or in a very similar time, and they expect you to do the same. So if I send you an email now and we work in a synchronized environment, I expect kind of fast reply to that email, maybe 40 minutes, 1 hour, whatever. If we work in an asynchronized or async environment, I know that you are working a completely time zone than myself. potentially, right? So I assume that people are working in different time zones. I assume that some people work in the morning because they prefer, other people work late at night because they're more productive. So I don't expect an immediate reply from you. Also, there will be very few or no meetings at all because people are working in different time zones, wherever they feel like, and all of that. So very different ways to work. Everybody working remotely, still remotely, but in the same time. So you can call someone from work, the person will pick up the phone, you send a chat message, the person will reply soonish, or people work whenever they want because they are in an asynchronized work environment. Different options, different flexibility level. None of them are better than others. I mean, I have my personal opinion about what suits me better, but I had different remote work setups along my 10 years working remotely. So the same thing can happen to you. You can start with a lower flexibility level if it's easier, if it makes sense, if this is your choice, and then you can expand your flexibility level as you go. Okay, so just for you to understand the options out there. I have this video in my YouTube channel. You can scan the YouTube, the QR code. It will direct you to my YouTube channel. It's not because I recorded the video, but it's a very good video. Also because I did it. But the content is very good. So it's gonna go deeper into the different flexibility levels involved in remote work. So this is a relevant topic. I wish I had more time here, but I want to keep going so you can watch this video. So just grab your phone, scan it. It's going to open the window in the browser of your computer or your phone, whatever, and then you can watch it later. But don't leave me here alone. Stay with me. I have more things to share, but this is a very good video because I went deeper into this topic so you can keep learning about it. Okay. Let me see, while you scan, grab your phone and scan, watch this video. And by the way, follow my YouTube channel, you know, all those things, click like, follow, support me. So I keep growing my channel. I'd love to see you following me there on YouTube. Let me see on the chat here. Josie said, normally I apply if I feel comfortable with the offers about my skills. Okay, you're talking, Josie, about not meeting 100% of the requirements. Okay. So if you feel comfortable, nice, you can use the 70%, meeting 70% of the requirements. You can use that as a kind of help for you, right? Katia said, totally agree. Someone said the degree in marketing is often required over here in Germany, and I haven't. That's why I'm not applying for such jobs. Okay. In my next LinkedIn Live, I'm going to talk about understanding the needs of the market, the requirements, and then understand what to do with that. So the next slide will also help you with that. Okay, let's keep going. Before you start applying for remote jobs, I understand that you need to find the jobs, right? It's a fact, right? You're talking about understanding the different options and all of that. That's amazing, Juliana. But what if I don't find remote jobs? What if I don't find them? Where are the good, legitimate, well-paid remote jobs? That's the 1 million question, right? So let's see, where are they? First of all, don't settle only for the traditional way to land jobs. The traditional way, what I mean by that is that you apply online for a position and then you wait for the company to contact you. There is a funny expression that I like. It's like spray and pray, right? You spray, like a spray, a graffiti spray. You spray your resume all over the place. You send as many resumes as you can, as possible. And then you wait, you pray for companies to contact you back. So this is the old way, the traditional way to land jobs. Does it work? Sometimes, yeah. I mean, people land jobs applying for jobs, but it's not the only way. It's not the most effective way. So my invitation is that you try different things. I want to open up your mind a bit and give you different options of landing a remote job, okay? Another good slide for you to take a photo or a print, because I'm going to share, I think, 8 or 9 ways to land, not land, sorry, find. I'm not talking about landing yet. I'm talking about I need to find a remote job I want to apply for. Those are the ways, okay? So this is a good slide. And the other 3 or 4, I'm going to share more ways to find remote jobs, okay? So One way that you can follow, apart from applying for jobs, let's move on from that. Let's talk about other things. One thing is that you identify the remote companies you would like to work for. So first, identify what are the remote companies that exist, that are out there, that are interesting to me, that offers the flexibility and allow me to live the lifestyle the way I want to live. The remote companies that offer the position I want to apply for, because maybe it's an amazing remote company, but they don't have positions for you. They don't have your specific department. Like the service they provide is very different than what you do. So identify the remote companies that you would like to work for. First thing, very broad, I know, but that's a very good way to start. Then you can start creating relationships with strategic people in those companies. Okay, you know the companies. Now you narrow down to the department that you would like to work for and focus on the ones that are doing the same job that you want to do, and also the hiring manager, the person right one step above, because this person is the decision maker. This person will decide between hire you and hiring her for the job. Okay. Then do informational interviews. This is a technical term, but another way to say that is having informal coffee meetings, informal Zoom calls, informal phone calls with people working in the companies, in the remote companies you want to work for, and doing the job you want to do, or your future manager. My career coaching clients, I teach them step by step how to prepare for the informational interviews, what email to send to the person, which questions to ask when they have someone in front of them, how to make the most of those moments, how to try to transform those opportunities into referrals. So we won't have time for that, but try to talk to people who are already working in the remote companies you want to work for and doing the kind of jobs you want to do. Okay. Then attend events, workshops, online job fairs, networking events, anything online or in person that is offered, that is created by the remote companies you want to work for. So most likely there will be remote stuff like online, that's the word I was looking for. Most likely there will be like online networking event, online job fair, online webinar, online LinkedIn Live, whatever. So it's very easy to attend. Most of them will be for free also. So just even if this is out of your comfort zone, because I know that some people feel a bit awkward. How am I going to join a networking event online? That feels so weird. Like, I don't know how it's going to be. I get you. But everything that I'm inviting you to do today is to push a bit out of your comfort zone. So if you feel a bit like, I don't know if this is for me, probably this is exactly what you need to do to achieve different results. Remember, if you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to achieving the same, you keep achieving the same results. So it's time to expand, and that's exactly what I'm bringing here to you, ways to expand and to diversify the chances that you find legitimate and well-paid remote jobs. Okay. Number 5 is an easy one. There is no much stretching here and getting out of your comfort zone. It's pretty much one click that can make all the difference. So subscribe for the company's newsletter. A lot of remote companies, they have newsletters where they share a lot of things, including jobs that they have, new projects, events, new people who join the company. So all of that is interesting for you to know. It's topic that you can use to start a conversation with someone from the company. You can understand positions, you can know upfront positions that are available, events that you can attend, and so on and so on. So please, if the remote company you want to work for have a newsletter, you should apply right now. Very basic, number 6, but just in case, I want to say that follow the company on LinkedIn. There are so many reasons to do that, but I would just tell you, please follow the company on LinkedIn. Recruiters can see who follow their company, and sometimes they filter candidate applicants, and they just go for the ones who follow the company. So as easy as that. You do want to follow the company's page on LinkedIn. You definitely want to do that. Try to create a close relationship with the hiring manager, the person who will make the final decision about who to hire. So this is a process. This needs to be done in a strategic way. I teach my career coaching clients how to do it, so it doesn't look like, hey, hi, let's connect because I want you to choose me for your team. It's not like that. Like, be professional, be elegant. There are better ways, more effective ways to do that. But you should create a closer relationship with the hiring manager. So whenever you apply for a job in the company, it's not the first time they see your name. It's not the first time they hear from you. Okay. And let people around you know that you're looking for a remote job, because we might be shy about it. We might think that we are bothering others, but a lot of jobs, even remote jobs, can come out of the network that you already have. Okay. And last but not least, make the best of your social media. LinkedIn, if you use Instagram, all of that, right? So take care of it. Facebook also, for the older ones in the room like me that still use Facebook. Nothing against, just it shares my age, but okay. Engage with the company content in different platforms, and also uh, stretching a bit here. Start creating content. I know this is a bit more difficult, more challenging. Some people don't feel comfortable, blah, blah, blah. I know about it, but I want to invite you to approach the job searching from the perspective of what can I do to increase my chances to land a remote job and to be seen as an expert in my area. So when you start creating content, you definitely will be perceived in a different way from recruiters and hiring managers. Okay. I would love to read on the comments what you think about it. If you are already exploring any of those ways to find remote jobs, if there is any of the things that I listed here that is specifically hard for you, if you struggle with, or what has been working for you. Maybe one of the things that I mentioned, you're like, Juliana, I have been doing this and it has been working out very well. So let me know in the chat if this was all new for you, or if you knew and implemented some of those things. I would like to know, so I can feel a bit the level of the audience also. Okay. Let's keep going. We are almost approaching the end of it, but I need to answer this question before we finish, right? So, Juliana, I get everything that you share. That's amazing. Thank you for that. Very helpful. But the real stuff is, where do I find legitimate and well-paid remote jobs, right? This is the 1 million question. I mentioned at the beginning that I was going to answer that question, and here I am to do what I said I was gonna do. So let's answer this question, right? Where do I find legitimate and well-paid remote jobs? I want to share my favorite list of remote job boards with you. So I curated a list of my favorite remote job boards, and you can get it for free. This is normally a material I shared with my paid clients, but I will make an exception for everyone who is here in the live. I want to value your presence. I want to reward you for being here until the end. And you can scan this code, just grab your phone and scan that. When you do that, you're going to be directed to a VIP Telegram group. You know the app Telegram? So you're going to be directed to the Telegram group. In the Telegram group, you will be there. You enter the group, you stay there. And on Friday, the 25th of August, I'm going to share only on the Telegram group the list of my favorite remote job boards. So you need to enter the group today, and you need to stay in the group. If you leave before Friday the 25th, I don't know what time I'm going to post it, so just stay there, and then you're going to receive firsthand from myself my list of my favorite remote job boards to help you to find legitimate and well-paid remote jobs. So this is my gift for you, because you stayed until now. I want to help you to find good remote jobs, and I will share remote job boards to make your life easier. So just scan this QR code, join me in the VIP Telegram group Friday the 25th. I'm going to share the list, my favorite list, with you. Okay. And also, if you want my direct help to land a remote job, to go further into those things, if you want to work with me, I am a career coach. I help my clients to land remote jobs, right? That's what I do. I am opening registrations for my group mentoring. Okay. We are starting in September. So this is the perfect time to do that. And if you join the group In August, you're going to save 400 euros. In US dollars would be like 440, I think, US dollars. So if you join the group in August, you're going to save you a lot of money. I always like to help people to save money and to generate more money. So I start helping you to save 400 euros, and then I help you to generate more money with your new remote job, right? If you join in August, my group mentoring to help you to land a remote job, you save 200 euros in the group price, in the official price. And also you're gonna get for free a consulting session with me. We are gonna have a one-on-one session, you and me, to talk about wherever you need support in your remote job search. Can be a mock interview, can be review your resume, can be review your LinkedIn profile, can be create a job search strategy for your specific case, can be like how to network with people in the remote company I want to work for. Whatever you want, you choose. I'm going to be there for you. An extra session. The cost of this session, if you would pay alone, would be 200 euros. So I'm going to give it to you as a gift if you sign up for the group mentoring in August. So this QR code will guide you again to the VIP group, because in the VIP group is where I'm going to share the link to the group mentoring, so you can read everything about it. You can join the mentoring. We can work together for 2 months. The group mentoring is going to last 2 months. I will help you for 2 months to land your remote job. We have weekly group calls. You have unlimited access to me on the private community. You have access to material on the platform with checklist, additional material, activities, exercise. So you have everything that you need and my direct support to help you to land a remote job. So join the VIP Telegram group to receive the list of remote job boards, and also to know everything firsthand about my group mentoring to help you to land a remote job faster before the end of the year, hopefully. Okay, so this is what I wanted to share with you today. Thank you for staying here until now. I am open for questions, comments, feedbacks. So please let me know in the chat. But also, I want to know, I would really appreciate to know one takeaway from this presentation, one thing that you learned, one thing that you will improve tomorrow, one thing that was like eye-opening for you. So one thing that made this presentation worthy. I'm very careful. I'm very cautious with your time. So I just want to make sure that I added some value, that it was worth your time and my time also being here. We could be doing so many things, but we chose to be here. So thank you once again. I really appreciate that. And I would love to know one takeaway, one thing that you learned, one thing that you can implement. So please let me know in the chat, why was it worth your time here today? Let me know in the chat. And I also hope to see you in the Telegram group to keep sharing, keep learning together. I will share some extra material, some special gifts only on the Telegram group. So join me there, and we can keep talking. So one takeaway, one learning, one thing that you can implement in your job search. Let me know in the chat. Please talk to me now. Let me hear from you. Denise said the importance of networking outside of your normal circle of influence. Exactly, Denise. Exactly. Especially if you never worked remotely, you need to go outside of your normal circle, right? Because if nobody works remotely among the people that you know already, how are you going to create a network for remote jobs? So you need to expand that. Good. Educational. Thank you. Thank you for the feedback. Jeffrey said yes. Same as last comment. Don't just spray and pray. Exactly. Spray and pray is like apply to as many jobs as possible and then just pray, just wait that the company is gonna call you, right? So there's much more, Jeffrey, that you can do, definitely. So a lot of things that I shared today, right, are practical things that you can implement. Okay, anything else? Katya said steps to find your remote job. Amazing, Katya. So I hope you took notes and that you can implement those steps, because it's definitely easier said than done. I mean, I get it, but first we need to know about them, and then we can start implementing. So yeah, nice that you got the steps. Katia, thanks for sharing that. Someone said, I cannot see the name, so I just see as LinkedIn user, so it looks like we're not connected yet. So whoever wrote like, be patient, it's about creating the network and it's not overnight. I love your comment. I would love to connect with you on LinkedIn. So just send me a connection request because we are not connected. So for some reason, I cannot see your name here, but thanks for the comment. Jeffrey also said, I live in Brazil and I'm applying my home country. Some industries aren't worth applying for. Government and banking. Yeah, that's a personal choice, right? Do you have more info about what those are, the industries and all of that? Well, I would need another live to go deep into different industries and all of that. I'm afraid we won't have time for it now, Jeffrey, but it's nice that you are already identifying some industries that you like more and others that you like less. That's important. So you filter the opportunities out there. So let's close this live. Thank you once again for your time. Thanks for the comments. Thanks for being here. Watch out for more lives that are going to happen in the next few days. And I will wait for you in the Telegram group to keep sharing and to share the list of remote job boards. Okay. Have a nice evening, day, morning, wherever you are in the world. Thank you for your time. See you in the next live. Bye.